to box. Joe Tessitore, Tim Bradley, Andre Ward with you. Gentlemen, we talked this week about what we would look for to know that it's the same Loma. Tim, where would your eyes be early on with his return?
Well, I'm going to see how much he's getting hit right out the gate. You know, if he's getting hit early on, then it's pretty much not the same Loma. You know, timing's a bit off. He's been out of the ring for somewhat close to almost a year. You know, and he's a bit of a slow starter. So if he starts slow and loses his first couple of rounds, things can get interesting on the back end of this fight, Jeff.
Just a little context. This is Lomachenko's 140th championship round. This is Jamaine Ortiz's first.
Isn't that amazing? In fact, Ortiz only has 87 complete pro rounds. Most of his work on the smaller circuit of New England fight cards.
Loma has more championship rounds than Ortiz has total rounds.
Correct. And that's what Loma was doing right from the start of his career. Went right into the deep end because of his amateur pedigree, was able to do that. A multi-division champion, won world titles in 3 weight classes. Fewest fights needed to win a world title, 3 fights. Fewest fights needed to win 2 divisions, 7 fights. Set the record for fewest fights needed to win titles in 3 divisions. That came in only 12 fights.
I think it's really important for Ortiz to fight like he's fighting, stay within himself, but win these early rounds, because Loma does start slow, and he wants to A, get respect, and B, pile up points and bank some early rounds.
We call that proceed with caution, but get off to a quick start. Don't allow Loma to settle in. It's a great jab right there by Ortiz, just keeping Loma occupied in that distance. And that's what Ortiz needs to continue to do. Fight him with combinations just like that from the outside.
4-punch combination followed up with a 2-punch combination.
That sequence right there, Loma didn't throw a punch, but Ortiz gave up a lot of energy trying to stay away from Loma, and that's part of the process that Loma wants to start, which is drain the young fighter's mind, drain his body so I can start to land my signature shots.
The crowd support this early in a Loma fight is almost unlike anything we've ever heard before. But obviously this is an emotional return. The Ukrainian anthem was an emotional display here at MSG.
Plus, Tesh, you got to also understand that this is Ortiz's first 12-round fight.
Yes.
There's no doubt in my mind there's some uncertainty if he can go at this pace for 12 rounds.
Body shot from Ortiz. Lets his hands go on the inside against Lomachenko. Top Rank Boxing on ESPN Plus is presented by AutoZone. Get in the zone. AutoZone. The Ortiz supporters on their feet after he threw 28 punches at Lomachenko in that first round. And look who is sitting ringside. Just to the side of Bob Arum and the Top Rank executives is the undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Devin Haney, fresh off his success in the rematch against George Kambosos. Mark Kriegel had a talk with Haney earlier about the prospects of fighting Lomachenko. Right now, Lomachenko is already dealing with bruising under that right eye. In that first round, Ortiz had an 8-3 connect advantage. Now, Lomachenko, a slow starter, or as he would say, downloading the information, understanding space, range, hand speed of the opponent.
He's trying to right now, but I'm telling you right now, man, Ortiz is game. He understands what he has to do. He's taken that knowledge from the sparring session. He's applying it right now.
Good experience for Ortiz that he had a year ago as Lomachenko was preparing for Richard Comey. We heard from him earlier about some advantages he felt he had because of that experience, and he was able to land and start that bruise under the right eye of Lomachenko. Bernardo.
I just spoke with Russ Amber and asked him about the abrasion under the right eye, and he said, look, it's because of the abrasive tape that Jamaine Ortiz is using, but nonetheless, we're going to have it under control.
Bernardo, just for clarification, Russ, who is one of the most veteran and equipped cutmen and cornermen in all of boxing, he's saying it's because of the tape wrapped around the wrist of Ortiz?
Yes, it's the type of tape that he's using. He said it's very abrasive, and so it's scraped on the upward slope, and that's why you see the inflammation under the eye, according to his cutman.
Ortiz being much the aggressor here in the midst of round number 2.
He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Get Loma defensive. Get him out of his stance. Loma breaks his stance often. No one makes him pay for that, but you see Ortiz.
And give Dr. Mike.
Let go of Jamaine. Let go. You're holding him, Jamaine. Let go of his arms. Break.
Loma willing to work out of that as he came darting ahead with that southpaw jab moments ago.
Ortiz is having some good success in these first 2 rounds.
He really is, Dre.
But he's also given up a lot of energy. There's a long way to go.
Yes, it is.
And Loma has no problem with that.
But Dre, he can't think about that. What Ortiz needs to do is just fight every minute, every second of this round. Don't be thinking about getting tired.
No, he can't think about that.
Don't think about it.
But it's our job to point it out.
Again, but I'm just saying, he can't think about it. That's what
he just had opportunity against a world-class fighter and chose not to really take it fully. That's the opposite of what Ortiz is doing early on against Lomachenko. Ortiz is bringing it. Ortiz is going for it at least.
And that's who Ortiz is.
Right.
Let go of him, Jamaine. You're holding him.
End of 2. It's interesting to hear what Bernardo reported from the corner of Lomachenko as to that pronounced abrasion. We believe this is where it happens. Right there, you see that cuffing. That was not a clean landed punch. It cuffs, so the wrist with that tape does hit onto the face right there.
Yes, that happens.
Here's a look, and watch where the wrist with the tape hits. Right where they describe it, and it pulls back against the flesh underneath the eye of Lomachenko, and thus that now pronounced bruising and abrasion that they're dealing with. Round number 3. Jamaine Ortiz, the upset-minded fighter from Worcester, Massachusetts, with a 15-11 connect advantage through the first 2 rounds.
But this pace that Ortiz is fighting at, and which looks athletic at times, is really how he fights. This is his style.
To box. Lomachenko trying to cut things off and corral Ortiz.
With you. Gentlemen, we talked this week about what we would look for to know that it's the same Loma. Tim, where
right now, this is just the beginning. Ortiz got more tricks in his bag. Well, I'm going to see how much he gets with southpaw test. He can fight just as well in the southpaw position as he can in the orthodox.
He's a natural righty. Throws a ball left-handed, but constantly will switch stances throughout his career. We've seen that.
That's the one thing in sparring with Loma that he said I didn't show him.
Well, he couldn't.
I stayed orthodox the whole time.
Because he was prepping him for Richard Comey.
But he said that's the thing that may show up in this fight.
So when they sparred, he's got a job to do. Not be Ortiz at his best, but give him the best look at Comey, who obviously is a standard power right-hand fighter.
Ortiz just took a deep breath in just a minute ago, about 10 seconds ago. This pace is definitely a high-intensity type of pace.
Just like Ramirez, it looks like Loma's not doing much. He's not throwing a lot of punches, but there is a lot going on with his feints, his foot feints, his head feints, upper body feints, and he's making his opponent think, and he's draining his opponents before the punches actually land.
Yeah, but Loma's his foot feints and his head, his body movement is not sharp as I usually see it. We usually see it, Dre.
Well, you wouldn't expect it to be after a year layoff in the first couple rounds, but it is effective. Let's see if it can continue to be.
Short right hand on the inside from Ortiz. Comes forward behind the jab. Loma able to get out of range.
But that youth is what Loma's struggling with right now.
Loma can't find a rhythm right now.
Ortiz has that Jamaine Taylor thing going on where he's got that windy offense where he throws, and you got to respect him because the punches come off very fast and very strong.
He got that Tim Bradley thing going on, Dre.
Interesting. Two interesting analogies there.
Bing, 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 bing.
Loma gets him. He clipped him with the left hand. He clipped him with the right hand up top. Now he gets him in the corner before Ortiz ties up. Loma clipped him moments ago.
How Ortiz manages those moments will determine how this fight turns out. Does he panic? Does he forget the game plan? Or does he stay composed?
Ortiz came forward trying to land a right hand. Loma got him with a short left right before the bell. Good third round. Let's go back and show you that sequence from Lomachenko with about a half a minute to go in the round as they continue to work under that right eye.
It seems that Loma's starting to get that timing down of Ortiz. Coming behind with that swivel jab right after that left hand. Follows Ortiz out. You see the discipline. No discipline from Ortiz, dropping his hands, trying to get out of range. And Lomachenko just following him out. Straight left and a swivel jab.
That southpaw swivel jab from Lomachenko. Lomachenko had a 10-5 connect advantage. He was 10 out of 40. As he revved the engine just a bit more, they apply that grease to that abrasion under the right eye that we saw was started because of a cuffing throw where the tape rubbed up against that right eye, as Bernardo was quick to get to the corner and find out that's what the claim, and the video backed it up. Bernardo, what are they saying in the corner of Ortiz?
Isaac Gonzalez is saying, I need you to push him back. Be first and use your feints. Everything off the jab, and remember, target that eye. It's in bad shape.
And that's the word for the undefeated fighter. And now a little bit of support for Ortiz here from the MSG crowd. You heard a faint chant of USA, USA. It is interesting to note that you have an unbeaten, up-and-coming, big opportunity-seeking American fighter who, just because of the wildly unique circumstances of Lomachenko, is on that side of the fence in terms of rooting interest here in New York.
That means he's doing well, Tess.
Ortiz told us in the fighter meeting, he said, I know what Loma tries to do with his feet. I've been in there long enough with him, and I've sparred many rounds. It's going to be a dance at certain points. When Loma tries to pick up his footwork, I'm going to pick mine up along the way. So far, so good for Ortiz.
Boy, Ortiz is giving better attitude on the inside, isn't he? Just a willingness to say, I'll make it something.
No respect.
That's right. He's going to throw those short right uppercuts on the inside when they're shoulder to shoulder. He's not in awe of the former #1 pound-for-pound fighter.
Tess, and that's I would say a quarter of the battle. Most guys that get in there with Lomachenko is in awe. They get beat before they even step foot in the ring, not Ortiz.
That youth is not easy to deal with, especially early in a fight. The springiness, the unpredictability of Ortiz, that's something that Loma has to contend with.
Yeah, but can he sustain it? That's the question. Can he sustain it?
On the way in, Loma.
But can he sustain it, Dre? You know, we get the sparring partners, the amateurs in the ring, the first 4 rounds, they look good, they sporadic, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds, you start beating on them. Let's see if Ortiz can stay at this pace.
Well, that was great timing moments ago by Lomachenko with the short left hand as Ortiz crossed that threshold.
It'd be even better if Loma was to blind him with the jab. Then come behind with the left hand.
I think Loma needs to pick up his right jab.
Yes, he does.
I know he's fighting a taller fighter, but he can flick that jab, not even land it, and just start shooting those left hands to the body like Ramirez did, and then bring it to the head.
Look at Ortiz. He hears the clap, and he says, I'm just going to throw. It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
Real good stuff.
all right? I don't want you on the ropes at all. Little water. You got an opportunity to get behind him a couple times, buddy. Let's go, baby. Back to the jab.
Jamaine Ortiz threw a fight-high 54 punches in that last round. Landed 7 rounds to 1 right now.
That's what my scorecard looked like.
37-29 connect advantage. Loma did have significant action. Had that southpaw swivel jab in the 3rd round.
You see a lot more urgency from Loma. And now he's trying to pay attention to the body of Ortiz. He's trying to go downstairs to slow him down. Oh, big left.
Ortiz took it well.
Domination from Lomachenko.
Oh, there it is. There's experience. That's what I was talking about.
It is. He's able to find that entry ramp, isn't he?
If he slows down just 1 mile per hour, Loma's going to catch up. Trust me.
How Ortiz manages these onslaughts in these moments determines how this fight goes. Loma's going to have moments. But how does Ortiz handle them and how does he bounce back? That's on display right now.
That get back, Dre. That's what you're talking about, that get back.
There's such a long way to go in this fight. A lot can happen.
Well, we knew early on that Ortiz is going to have success because of the youth and the hand speed and athleticism.
And the reach.
Yep.
Every time you hear that clap, we get good action, good pace, right to the bell. A little bit of swelling under the left eye of Jamaine Ortiz as he walks back to his corner at the end of 5. Lomachenko far more productive in that 5th round than he was in the previous round.
He's already scared.
Rosenberg continues to grease up the right side of the face of Vasiliy Lomachenko. And as Anatoly Papachenko, as he is known, the 57-year-old father trainer of Vasiliy, gives his final instructions. On to round number 6. In that last round, Lomachenko had a 14-6 connect advantage. Power punches was 12-6.
He hurt him with that shot.
He did. Opens it up well here in round 6.
Straight left hand down to the body. Got Ortiz's attention. No doubt about it. You seen him fold over after Loma landed that shot.
Stepped right to him.
The left eye of Ortiz has some swelling and it's starting to close just a little bit.
And he tries to step and give an angle.
I think that pressure of Loma starting to get to Ortiz a little bit. He's not throwing as much offense.
You could just see it moments ago with those 3 steps to the left.
Lomachenko's got to pick up his right jab and start shooting those straight lefts to the body. That's going to open up the straight lefts and the overhand lefts to the head.
Ortiz is having a hard time seeing those lead jabs, Dre. That eye is starting to close.
That right hand, that southpaw jab is right on top of that swelling left eye.
And that's also waking Lomachenko up, seeing the eye close or start to close of Ortiz.
Kendrick Ball handles the cuts and the swelling in the corner of Ortiz. He's going to have some work to do with that left eye.
Ortiz finished strong in the last round, but he took a round off, and Loma had his way, and Loma's also having his way in this 6th round as well. Ortiz can't allow Lomachenko to start to steal the play.
Countering over the top and shooting off 2 more behind it.
He's killing Ortiz's jab right now. Loma is countering right over the top, right over that eye. Good.
You don't see Ortiz busy using the jab or setting things up anymore. He's in defense mode. He's defending himself right now.
There is no doubt about that, Dre. This is not the Ortiz you saw in the first 4 rounds in terms of volume and pace.
Yep, there's the switch right there. That's what I was talking about. That lets me know that Ortiz understands that, hey, Loma's trying to work his way back in the fight. Now I got to do something different, so I'm going to switch southpaw.
And that's what you have, southpaw against southpaw, to close out round number 6. And he gets off a combination, tried to go to the body, and tried to back him up. So there's your changeup as we come to the half.